Welcome to Meditate with Marie. This is day or episode 6 of our Positive Influences series. So we're picking up the conversations again tonight. And in this series of soul food or positivity inspiration, positivity practice, whatever you want to call it, we have a breakout series from the Positivity Project, which is 14 ways to improve your mindset and enhance your well-being. Positive influences being one of them. So throughout the last week, we've been talking and bringing awareness to who, what, and where has a positive impact on you, especially your well-being, your health, your energy. Somebody who or something that is a negative impact on you, it will make you feel drained, it'll make you feel heavier, it'll make you feel more tired. Someone who is a positive influence or something will be something that has a more uplifting, energizing, just feels lighter and better impact, and you can particularly notice it in your physical body. So one of my positive influences is Miss Bramble here. She has decided to join me for tonight's live video. I am hoping that in a few minutes time I can introduce you to another guest that I have lined up tonight. Fingers crossed he will be able to connect in soon. But it is somebody who has never appeared live on the channel with me before, even though he has a massive influence on the channel itself. So I am aiming to introduce you tonight to my good friend and positivity partner, Martin Thompson, aka Dr. Beard, from the Dr. Beard Gaming channel. He is somebody who moderates my page, somebody that I trust implicitly with my passwords and other information, but he is the person behind the cameras, behind the everything that does a lot of the technical work. So if I need some reels spinning, making better, generating to just look or be much more jazzier, it's Martin who does that for me, very generously with his time and energy. Somebody who I bounce creative ideas around with, somebody who is motivating and encouraging. It's nice to have a positivity partner where you can positively encourage each other, even though we technically do very different things. He is also somebody who is responsible for uploading the best videos from the social media platforms onto the YouTube channel so that you, the viewers, have easier access to them rather than scrolling through previous posts or searching for certain videos online. So if anybody's interested in any of our previous series, whether it's the Positivity Project itself or whether it is our breakout series such as Mindfulness Mondays or the Anxiety Army, they are all on the YouTube channel because of this man who I hope to be able to bring in now. So let's see what happens when we press these buttons. Speak to Martin. Let's bring a face to the name and hopefully have a positively inspiring conversation. Perfect timing.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Beard.
So you're not using the camera I intended to use, and audio, but it is what it is. It's
These things happen. Do me a favor, turn your audio up just a little bit, if you can.
Audio. Yeah, if I can. I mean, I'm just on the phone, so it wasn't working on. It didn't give me the option actually. I wanted to browse on the PC, and it wasn't giving me the option.
It's really weird actually. These live videos only seem to work on phones. So I had a fail the other night with Carl when I was trying on my iPad. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was hoping I could get it to work for there because obviously I've got all the gear and it's just readily available. So I thought it might make it easier, but never mind. Obviously not.
Old school.
How do I sound?
Hello, Billy. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Dan. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah. I thought I'd try and do a bit of a shared stream across my page too for extra exposure, bring some faces in. And these people who likely coming in are very much involved in what we're talking about. So
excellent. I love that. Thank you for bringing them in. For those of you who've never seen her, this is Bramble. She is another positivity partner, and she quite often hangs out with me while I quite often watch your page, your live streams. I think we're going to surprise everybody with the content of this conversation, particularly on my end. Your end of probably very familiar with it and very comfortable with it, but my end, I'm hoping to like have a positive impact on people from a different perspective. So let me start with, I've introduced you before you jumped in as somebody who has a positive impact on me, because during conversations, when I know you from cutting your hair originally, you're someone who's, you know, I don't even remember meeting you for the first time ever, but I know at some point when I was cutting your hair, we started having conversations about mental health, this channel, and then the channel that you've got and what you do and all your techie stuff as well. So yeah, thank you for that. When I talk to you, I always have like a motivational drive or a creativity boost. So that's just evidence, is it, of a positive impact, a positive influence.
Yeah, we do have good conversations, because I think, as you said before, we do different things, but they do share a platform. They are very similar in the fundamentals of doing the live videos and the content creation, the spreading awareness, or building a community around something. So although the subjects are completely different, they do relate.
They have some things in common, don't they? They have that common humanity. So I love that people are coming in too. Feel free to leave comments or say hi. Martin, you can also comment on those, no problem. So let's just dive straight in, because I would like you to bust a myth or break down a little judgmental preconception that people might have about gaming and what it is that you do, because it's very surprising to people who don't already know this. So I know you did a podcast with Billy at one point where you talked about this specifically, but a lot of people seem to have this completely wrong idea that gaming is bad for the mental health and it's not good for your well-being. Can you tell my audience and yours why that isn't true, how that isn't true, and tell them about the amazing community and connection that you share with your audience?
Yeah, so yeah, it's just something me and Billy have talked about, and I know he's in the comments now, so feel free to chip in when we have discussed it on the podcast. And gaming does have a bit of a stigma, I think, attached to it. Although over years that is changing through generations, but it can be seen to be negative for you, waste of time and things like that. And I can see their perspective, but for me, it's been completely the opposite end of the spectrum, as it were. So for me, I play games, but I'm building something positive off the back of that. But I started a channel, which basically, and again, a lot of people, they look at this and they think, I just don't get it. But I stream a game, and there's me on a camera as well in the corner, and other people can come up and they can get involved and they can play with us, or they can watch, or they can just comment, and we can chat. You know, I've got everything set up so that I can see what people are saying to me and so on at the same time, and try and master the art of multitasking. But through that, I've created a space where we have like a community, and that community allows us to sort of share something. I've met people from across the world, and they're very much like-minded people, because people who come by, they share similarities, and if they don't, they just don't stick around, they just move on. You know, they continue scrolling, which is fine. And from I've built a platform, and for me, when I'm playing, I'm building something at the same time. So I'm being productive, but I'm also chilling. I'm vibing, and it's like, so for me, it's an escape. I'm achieving something, but at the same time, I'm escaping from the reality of the daily. If that makes sense as well. That kind of is that filling the air? Is that the question?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, and I can shine a light on that and expand it as well for you if you like. So correct me if I'm wrong, but from the outside looking in, when I watch your channel, I see a bunch of you playing different games. You might be running around, shooting people, strategic tasks, things like that, things that you do. But it's really the banter and the sense of connection that you have to each other. I see a group of people having an absolute laugh with each other, people who feel very, very comfortable with each other. And you don't just talk about the games, sometimes you talk about personal stuff as well.
Each stream can be so different, and it's great when we get a good topic going, people getting involved. Some of my best streams, when actually I've had the game off and I've been sitting just looking at the camera and we're just chatting. Sometimes it's just, they're sometimes the best streams, but we'll have games on and we are exactly what you're saying, so we're relating over things. Sometimes we're talking serious stuff, having a laugh, but yeah, absolutely, everyone's kind of like on the same page. We're a very open and welcoming page. There's loads of them out there. Every community is a bit different, but mine, we're generally very open, very welcoming, but we just don't tolerate sort of like abuse to each other or anything like that. We shut that down very quick if it ever comes in, but to be honest with you, it never really has. I've been quite fortunate for anything like that. We've not really had drama or anything like that. I think people just don't tolerate it, so
that's good. I just see a very uplifting, light-hearted a group of people who are unwinding, who are de-stressing, who are, you know, you've probably been at work all day, or you have your family responsibilities and other things like that, but it is also like you're embracing your inner child. You're getting this playful, just fun way to de-stress from the external world, like you said, escapism.
Yeah, I mean that's it as well. I mean, some people they're like, you know, and everyone likes what they like, but some people they go home and they'll sit and they'll watch telly, you know, and during that time they're watching telly. If the type of people say, "Oh, game is a waste of time," well, then arguably, watching TV could be a waste of time, you know. It's not me knocking it. It's just there's a different perspective, isn't there? And we're enjoying each other's time. So for me, like, from a personal perspective, getting out is hard. Obviously, you know me, you know my family dynamics, you know my wife, you know
love Sarah.
Struggles, yeah. So with Sarah's health, she struggles to get out and about. She struggles with her mobility, so I have to pick up a lot of additional little things here and there, just in the day-to-day, that really help her out. So, you know, she'll do washing and things like that, but she can't lift it to take it from A to B. So I have to keep stopping what I'm doing to go and do that. Even in the middle of the streams, if you're ever in them, you'll notice sometimes she'll come on, can have 5 minutes, and I go off, and that's me doing something else. So I can't get out very often while we've got the family and things like that. So, but I can't sit and do nothing. I'm a creative type of person, and I like to be doing something. I feel if I sit and just do, you know, I can't just sit and play games or just sit and watch telly. I feel like I've lost that time, if that makes sense. It's nice to play, but with the channel and with what I'm doing with the channel, that's how I build the community and build the relationships and expanding. And then so I'm effectively out without being out, if that makes sense. That's how
you're socializing, but
that's right. My mind isn't even in the same house either. It's not even just that because I could pick up the phone and talk to somebody. My head is somewhere else. We're in a virtual environment with friends who just pick up their headsets and so on, and we're away, we're talking like we're down the pub, but we're not down the pub. So it's like it's got that really helpful social aspect to it, and from that social aspect, you know what I mean. And other people come along, and what's great is they want to see it and they want to be a part of it, and they go, oh, can I game? Can I play? Absolutely, bring yourself in. We, you know, and we just expand that way, and it's been really positive for me from that perspective. And I get messages from other people who follow my channel who've said the same thing. And, you know, sometimes when they haven't got somebody to turn to in their normal day-to-day life, where there's, you know, people who've had struggles, they are able to come and talk to us because, you know, we're generally, we're not involved in their day-to-day life. So sometimes they can be more open and talk to us more as people.
Sometimes it's easier to speak to people.
So there's so many avenues, really, I think, that of positive things that can come from it.
I think that's fantastic because I mean, so often on my channel, I'm promoting, you know, get outside in nature, and, you know, I teach yoga. I do a lot of yoga, and I do a lot of walking with my dog and things like that. But I also try and be inclusive of people who, for whatever reason, can't leave the house, or can't leave the house as often, or are not able to. So I think this is a really great way to show people that there is a sense of connection through online community, you know, and for anybody who is at home or has a difficult work life, or a challenging home life, or anything like that. Personally speaking, I used to suffer crippling panic attacks that used to prevent me from going out socializing. I never knew what social anxiety was until later on. I was probably like 30 something when I actually found out what social anxiety is. But you know, I consider my experiences quite light compared to what some other people experience. So whether they're disabled, whether they are non-neurotypical, whether they just literally struggle to leave the house for whatever reason, socializing and connecting with others in a positive way, it doesn't have to mean forcing yourself out the house. It can mean this, it can mean connecting online, and it can have such a great impact on people.
Absolutely. And it's strange as well, because obviously saying that, like, was it Shelley who were you live with the other night? Was it Shelley?
I've Laura, maybe.
Laura. So your friend Laura, so she was talking about being an introvert and things like that. And naturally I'm an introvert too. And it's strange. It's funny because I can be somebody different behind the camera. I've never had a problem switching this on and being in front of the camera and being live to the world. Never bothered me. Never crossed my mind. I'm not like I was sitting there and psyching myself. I wasn't nervous. You know, it just was what it was. But yeah, I can be in a room with new people, and that's not the same. That I can be a bit more socially kind of closed up.
Resonates.
Takes that time to kind of push through, and for people necessarily to see the personality or what it is I have to bring to the table, with, you know, on whatever it is I might be doing. But it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, actually, because I think it's important to highlight or emphasize, or even just speak about it for the first time. What you see on the surface is not always what you get on the inside with people.
Yeah.
And I think you and I have that in common, because we do share a star sign. Our birthdays are right next door to each other, and I think it's a trait of the star sign anyway, but personally a personality type thing as well. I was at a party last night, and I was sober because I was driving, but I really wanted to get up and dance. I really did, but I couldn't do it. I just couldn't, even though I wanted to. And I used to be like that, like going in sociable places as well. And people don't believe it, because when I'm working as either a hairdresser, or I'm teaching yoga or meditation, or I'm here on the platform, people think that I'm really outgoing, really extroverted, really confident.
Yeah.
But it's just a different aspect of who you are. Like, you can be confident with a purpose,
almost
but
like
when you're yourself in a social in situation, you just kind of feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is. It's strange. I mean, what people see on the camera, this is me. I don't act fake. I don't do things or say things that I don't think, oh, should I say that? You know what I mean? Like, I people, and yeah, I'll pull punches when doing that, some aspects, but I am just me, and people, what they see on me, but when they meet me in real life, it'll just take a bit longer before they see that.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? I'm glad that that wasn't planned to acknowledge that, actually, but I'm glad that we've actually hit that point and acknowledged it. So thank you for that. Hopefully this is giving some food for thought to anybody watching, whether they're live or at a later time. I would like to ask you, aside from the gaming and things like that, who, what, or where has a personal influence, a positive impact on you? Take your time answering that as well.
Who, what, or where?
Yeah. What positively influences or impacts you in a good way? What, other than your gaming, makes you feel lighter, uplifted, motivated, inspired? I'm gonna let you think about that. I just need to grab my power bank so I can put my phone on charge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a think.
Hello to Dylan for coming in. All right, Dylan, Dan and Billy. There we go. GG. So I didn't. For me, I think just creativity and having the opportunity to be creative does. I won't lie. Like recently, I've kind of found myself. I started a new job. Been a lot to learn. That's kind of interrupted my day-to-day dynamics within myself, because I find myself a bit more tired because I'm investing myself elsewhere. And when I'm more tired, I come home one night, I've got my day-to-day to do with family and so on, that I'm not as motivated to do the other stuff that I've been doing. So with the channel has suffered a little bit in recent times, because I've just needed to take more of that time for myself to just. Yeah.
And sometimes we do. It's like a natural balance that weaves in and out all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, but the aspect of I've lost my thought now.
Who, what or where makes you feel good?
So the so that was it. So you were doing your project, the book was coming up and so on, and you were needing some reels done. That was as soon as you sort of said, right, here's what's happening, here's some stuff, here's some material. Now I'll leave it to you to come up with something, because you weren't really sure, I don't think, what it was you wanted, but you knew what you do.
I wanted you to put your own personal spin on it rather than me just asking.
Just kicked me into motion. That was a brilliant opportunity. When I messaged you to give you the contact back or start feeding you back ideas, and I said to you, I've really enjoyed it. Actually, I've really needed this. This has been brilliant for me. That I really did enjoy. So sitting and having to look and create content again. So being creative, doing something productive for me is a big spur for positivity. But I need reason for it, if that makes sense.
You need a purpose behind it.
So that was a great little purpose that come off the back of that. So that was really good. I enjoyed that. So again, that same sort of thing came from the channel originally, and I'm sure it'll come back soon when I've kind of got me when things have settled with my professional life, let's say. Then maybe I'll kind of get back into that. But that's what really inspires me, I think. Also music's another massive one. So I love, to be fair, not many people see or hear of it, but I enjoy singing a lot.
Right.
I used to be in a band. I used to perform on stage. Me, the little introvert me, used to be the front man. And like I do with the streaming, it was weird on the stage. I wasn't me. I wasn't my normal person. I was me, but not the introverted me. That makes
different aspect of you.
When I was on the stage, I was like, right, yeah, this is my stage. This is my space. I do what I want to do. The crowd are there, but I won't see them the way I would see somebody sitting in front of us if I was talking to them in a room.
How can we organise a Dr. Beard sing-song session on your channel sometime? We might have to get you drunk and just let you sing it out.
Well, so I was actually at a gig last night anyway, and I'll just be watching, and when there's a particular type of musician I see, I just find that so inspiring. And I start getting that real itch to just come home, get my microphones back out, get the Mac fired back up, and all the desks and everything, and the keyboards and that, and just start recording. And I swear to God, I am going to do it. I'm just going to do it again, but I need to.
Yeah. Everybody encourage Dr. Beard, dare him to do it.
I get up on the go, and I can maybe incorporate into some of the live stuff, because I don't really need to be in a band these days. I enjoy doing that, but it was time consuming. It's time consuming trying to find people. You've got to manage the people. You've got to manage. There's a lot of aspects to it, and when you've got a family and you're busy, it's not. I've got to look at it and go, right, I need to be realistic on what's achievable, because if I set myself up thinking I'm going to do that and then I can't do it, it just disappoints me, it brings me down. So I mean, to be realistic with the goal. But the great thing about getting content creation and the online platforms these days is actually I could probably do something musical and incorporate it into the reels and other side of digital. So it could still be done, and it can just be done differently. So, but I mean, so again, it comes back to, I guess, that productivity. But that's what really inspires me.
Excellent.
And sometimes, lastly, sometimes I like a goal. I see something I want, and that doesn't come often. But when sometimes I see something I want, that really motivates me to get up on a morning and think, right, what am I going to do today?
I love a goal, and I love a goal when you can work gradually towards it as well. Laura and I touched on this the other day. Like, say, when I wrote the book, that wasn't an overnight thing. I didn't sit down in one session and just do it. It wasn't like, I spend 2 hours on it, it's finished. It took 8 months to write it. I might have just sat down for an hour at a time, but it was just that, this is the project I'm working on. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to take my time with it. I'm going to do it slowly and gradually, and eventually it will be a finished product. But that's the kind of thing that motivates you, isn't it? When you feel that it's something that is firing up your creativity, it fires up your soul, your passion, your purpose. It's really great to have a project.
Yeah, absolutely. I think helping people as well, that's another big one. I think that's, again, and that's where, when we were talking, when you were doing my hair, donkey's back, and you started to really talk about your live stuff, I think you were not new to it, but you were fairly new to doing some of it. You'd been
4 years old now,
and you started to like do your online stuff, and you were doing, you were not as involved in it as you have been like lately, if that makes sense. I can't where in your journey you were, but you were talking my language, and you were talking about things I've done or have involvement in or have, and straight away I was recognizing, okay, you might benefit from a bit of guidance or a bit of experience from my experience of saying, this is what I find. And as well, obviously, with your reels and things, again, working from an iPad's difficult. It's not that you can't do it, just I know what it's like. It's difficult when you're working from apps and things. And obviously I have invested a lot of time and money in equipment for the streaming, and on the back of that, I could churn reels and videos out. And I've said to you, well, I'll help you out. You've not got a lot of time in your hands. You're working full time, doing your barber stuff. You were then doing teaching. I think you just started, and you got so much, rammed in such a small amount of time that doing reels is hard. And I was like, well, I sit and do reels every week anyway. Send me a few images, I'll stitch them together. You throw a track on, I can churn them out in minutes. And again, I love helping people, so that opportunity came up, and getting the
and that's been so great for the channel as well, especially the way you can pick up a video, extract it from social media and upload it onto YouTube. I probably could have figured out how to do it somehow, but like you say, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the confidence, I don't have the tech know-how. It was really nice to have somebody just come along who was supportive, encouraging, and said, you know what, I'll help you out just because I can.
That's it. And I don't do it for anything, but I guess I do get a little kick from it though, to go, I've enjoyed making that. I've learned something from it as well. There's things that I've needed to do for your reels that I would never do for mine. Just techniques I've needed to use, or things I've needed to import or download or stitch together, and so I learn from that though, and then I take that skill forward, and that serves me in some way at some time. It always does. So at some point I might think, well, I need to do that. I did this before then. And
I think what's nice about that, and what's nice about what this conversation is revealing, is sometimes you can help somebody just for the sake of it, without any expectation of receiving anything back. But you then help someone, and that has like a domino effect on them and yourself, because it helps them, it helps you, it then leads to them to inspiring other people, and then also it comes back in roundabouts to help you, which then helps the people you're connecting with. And it's like a web, like a network of, let's all just help each other.
Do you know there's a movie I watched once called The Yes Man? Have you ever seen it?
I don't think so.
So, and it's just such a funny film. It's one of Jim Carrey's later movies, but it's one of my all-time favorites now. I've seen it once, I loved it, and I could watch it anytime. And he's a guy who's very closed off to life. He says no to everything. He just goes to work, he goes home, he can't be bothered to go out with his friends. They always invite him, he doesn't want to go, doesn't want to do anything, he always says no. And he gets dragged along to this big seminar thing, and he ends up being encouraged to say yes. And because the guy says, and I love the line, he says, "You say no to life, therefore you're not living." And that line was like, yeah, that's it, you know. And I found that movie very inspiring, actually. And I started to go into life a bit more thinking, okay, just say yes to something. Just say yes, you know. Try and kind of embrace, well, what's the worst that could happen? You know, where obviously you've got a limit when what you say to and so on, of course. But it was brilliant. So it was quite, I love that movie. But and it's like what you're just kind of saying there. I didn't have to help you with it. I didn't need to, but it was kind of, well, okay, well, why not? I'll just do it. And it is. You get more, but it does come back again without any expectation of thinking about it. But it's similar to what happens in that movie, because he starts saying yes to things, and there what happens is it starts to turn his life around. Opportunities come his way. He gets promoted off the back of things, and he just out of nowhere, because he's saying yes to opportunities, and then obviously again starts to live his life. And I always think it's very relatable, I guess.
Yeah.
I've been past where I have had sort of spouts of negativity when I was younger. It's easy to get bogged down if you're in a job you don't like, or you're in a situation you don't like, and you sometimes feel a bit trapped.
Spirals downward, doesn't it? Yeah.
What's sometimes important to think is all I've done differently now. I don't do anything really differently other than I just think more positively and go, okay, what's worst happen? You know, I don't let people take advantage of us, but I'll say yes. At work, I'll say yes to something. If it's something I don't know how to do, I'll say yes, because it's an opportunity to learn. You know, and if I say yes and learn it and do it well, I won't keep saying they exploit me.
You have your boundaries. Don't let people take the pee. But
what often happens, you know, if you're around good people, is they'll recognise that, and you'll get an opportunity off the back of it, and you will progress personally. Whether you, do you know what I mean? So
100%, and I think that's really nice. You get to grow and just evolve within yourself, don't you? If you keep saying no to things and you stay in your comfort zone and you let the social anxiety take over, or you let the introvert dominate your life, you miss out on so much. And for the sake of a little bit of discomfort, or a little bit of a, you know, oh, I feel a bit anxious, but I'm going to breathe through this, start saying yes to things. And like you say, possibilities open up, opportunities open up. You start to experience life in a different way. You get to experience just more of the good stuff. You know, saying yes doesn't mean bad things happen. It can actually lead to some pretty great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if something, when you say bad things, even sometimes some negative experience shape us.
They can be a real gift. They can be a real gift.
Positive spin on something negative. But,
oh my God, I'm so grateful for every freaking horrible, nasty panic attack that I had 20 years ago, or however long it was that I can't actually remember, because they're a thing of the past now. They spiraled me into right, what can I do to help myself? How can I understand this? So my knowledge of anxiety and panic, and then turning to meditation and breath work, totally changed my life, totally gave me my confidence back. I got control of my nervous system, and now I get to help other people do that for themselves. I get to show them that actually this doesn't control you. You can help yourself and get control of this. So it does. Saying yes has a good positive impact. I think that's going to lead us nicely into my final question for you, actually, which I think we've already answered for ourselves. With every live video that I'm doing in this series, I am looking for ways that we can positively inspire or invite the viewers to practice some positivity for themselves. I was going to ask you, is there anything that you would like to suggest to people that they can do based on the conversation that we've had? So whether it's, you know, join an online community or just have a little peek at your videos and see what's going on and join in the banter, but maybe we can challenge people this week coming up to say yes to something that they would normally say no to.
Yeah. Well, definitely. I mean, really embrace your interests. If you've got an interest in something, I would say more often than not, most people are generally very nice. And if you've got an interest in something and you don't practice it because you don't have a friend to go with, and there's groups you can go to, whether it be online or not, I would say take the chance, just jump in both feet first and do it, because chances are you'll go along. Everyone else who's there has been there once, and you know what can blossom from that. It's kind of taking that opportunity, saying yes to something, doing it. You'll enjoy what you're doing because it's your hobby anyway. You're going to find people who share that interest. You'll be involved and become a part of a community. And if you haven't got anything like that, create it. But,
yes.
But, you know,
hell yes.
You know, it have to be time consuming. You can start it online. This is the whole point of what I do, is the fact it's online. I can just come, switch the computer on. It took time to build, but you bite-sized chunks, right? You set your goal. It was a case of getting some templates, then getting some spiel written here for how I post. Once it's done, the hard work, if that makes sense. And then
once you've got your foundations in place,
I can switch my computer on, I can press a button, go live, away I go. I don't have to do much to go live now. And so that's, you know, I would say definitely take the opportunity. I'm going to also mention something else that I say to you regularly now, to be fair, and it's something I say to many. And that's saying, do one thing every day that scares you.
Oh, yeah. I wish I'd have danced last night at that party.
Like,
could have missed out on so much fun.
Sometimes I think to myself, I want to do that, and then I don't do it, and I go, okay, why am I doing it? Why am I shying away from it? And I think to myself, what have I done today that scared us? Because if I haven't done anything that scared us, then kind of have to do this because this is that thing. If I've done something, then fair enough, I've done something. But one thing, because I think we really develop as people if we push that boundary. Now, you don't ever do too much too fast. Don't be going out doing everything every day that scares you, because you're just going to drive yourself to becoming nervous.
Yeah. Even if it's one small thing.
Small thing. Or just have to be massive at all. It can be the smallest thing. But if it makes you think, oh, I'm nervous. Well, there you go. There's your barrier. Push past that little barrier.
Yeah, breathe deep.
I got that from a song, The Sunscreen. The Sunscreen song. You can search for it on Spotify or Apple Music.
We should do, I think we should create a reel with that quote and that song and release it into the internet ether and challenge our viewers.
Absolutely. I tell you now, that song was a life changer for me. When I was going through a period of self-evolving and soul searching and trying to kind of be a better version and think, right, how do I now make something of my life? That song hit me then. I remember coming across it. I don't know how I did, but I came across it. And I tell you now, that song is brilliant. That song. It's just, I don't know anyone who's ever heard it, but if you haven't, it's basically just a guy talking to you for 3 minutes, telling you what you should do with your life. Don't worry about how you look. You'll look back in 15, 20 years and realise how good you looked. Don't, do this. Don't do that. And it's very much like, don't worry too much. Worrying's like trying to solve algebra with... And
when you look back at anything you've ever worried about, you look back however many years later and think, I didn't need to worry about that so much.
Such a waste of your time.
Yeah.
And
waste of time and energy.
Don't it says about being patient with people who dispense it. You don't always have to follow advice, but be patient with people who dispense advice, because actually there could be something very useful there. And there's so many positive quotes. The whole song, and I tell you now, I listened to that song and I straight away listened to it a second time, like immediately. I was like, and I soaked that song up so much, and it's brilliant. And it's not like a great track by any means musically. It's just some guy.
But it's had a positive impact on you.
And that quote comes out of that song, and I tell you now, that song will resonate with everyone who ever listens to it, whether the whole song does or not, even whether it's just a chunk of it. There'll be something in there for you, and it's absolutely worth listening to.
Let's find a link to it and put it in the comments below.
Well, I'll do.
Excellent. So for anybody who's watching, whether it is live or at a later time and date, feel free to leave a comment below and let us know what positively inspires or impacts you, particularly if it's a song or a movie. We would love to know. We would love to hear that. Martin, thank you very much for joining me tonight, and thank you for this positively inspiring conversation. I have really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it too.
Thank you. And for anybody who hasn't already, feel free to dive into one of Dr. Beard's live streams. I personally don't game. I don't have consoles anymore. But I love to just watch. I love to join just to support the channel, but I like to just watch, and I find it really funny and actually really relaxing just to watch them game. So
Poppy alone. Right?
Yeah.
If you don't years coin, learn who Poppy is, you'll not regret it.
Yeah. So much fun. So much fun. When are you going live again, and when is Poppy and the others going to join?
So I'm aiming to go live tomorrow evening, and it'll be around 8 o'clock ish, between 8 and 9 normally. So I shall aim to go live then. I'm going to try and do 2 this week at a minimum. Get track a bit, you know.
Yeah, I'll come and join you when I can. I'm teaching yoga tomorrow night, and then I've got a live stream on here at 9 o'clock. But when that one finishes, I'll dive in and jump in on the banter on there. Thank you very much. All right. So everyone who's joined in the conversation, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we hope you all have a lovely evening. Enjoy the football if you're watching it.
We're going to win, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.